Oh, aloha everyone, Joshua Hayes at BigWaveTrading.com. My apologies for not making a weekend video lesson going over the overall market. Was quite busy this weekend. So instead, we'll go ahead and make this one public since on an end-of-day basis, I only have one new end-of-day long signal and one 100% end-of-day sell signal on a failure. They're both speculative, so neither one are major signals, but the problem is with the new long signal, it's gapping up huge after hours. It's an ad signal. I've already actually sold 50% of my original signal after hours. It's INPX, but we'll go over that here in a little bit. First off, just want to go ahead and do a quick overview of the market before we move on. The SPY, this is the daily chart. Remember, this is the time segment volume. If you've been watching these video lessons, you know that I want this indicator bullish before I start increasing size. This is the daily on the SPY. This is the QQQ. This is the DIA. This is the IWM. The IWM did cross back red today, but hey, it's a step in the right direction that these are green on the daily, but they've been green on the daily since the lows here. As we go to the higher time frames, I'll show you what I'm looking at. So here's a weekly, the IWM, we're green. That's good, but we've been green before, but as you can see, the signal line is still kind of trending down. It has not turned up, and now the lead line is kind of rolling back over. The DIA, similar situation. QQQ, we're green. SPY, we're green. This is all excellent, but like I said, the signal lines still have not turned higher yet. So until I see that, there's no reason to get super bullish short term. Plus, we just keep V ramping up. I need some consolidation out there. On a monthly time frame, good news. The QQQ, we're green here too, but once again, look at the lead line compared to the signal line. They're not uptrending just yet, so we can't get excited. And remember, I don't start really increasing size into new long positions and or have confidence and conviction in this market environment since our 2018 highs in January until we're lined up everywhere. And the QQQ, while we're green there, the SPY, DIA, and IWM are all still bearish. And like I said, this is one of the longest periods I've ever seen time segment volume bearish in any index. I think the SPY on TradingView, look at the 90s. Boy, wasn't the 90s a fun time? This is the monthly TSV line. 1995 all the way to the 2000, 5 years of basically a bullish TSV. And as you can see, it's kind of equivalent to this level and this level here, but if you look at the IWM, that blotch of red is bigger than any of the blotches of green and red that preceded it. So we're still not there yet. We're still extended overall. That's a 1 minute, sorry. This is a daily chart, but at the same time, while I'm looking for a pullback, am I expecting one anytime soon? No. My TTM trend indicators, they came out of a loose squeeze, green dots, the trend is moving up. SPY, same thing. DIA, same thing. QQQ, same thing. So for everybody that's looking to pull back, including me, I don't know if it's ever going to freaking happen. Once you start breaking out on a daily, I start to look to try to get long on 21 EMA supports. This was our first higher high and higher low, and as you can see, the QQQ, one day, barely touched the 21 EMA. So it's a difficult market to navigate. So that's the overall market. Now let's get to the end of day stuff. All right, so we did have one new long position. It's actually an ad signal in a stock we're already long. We've actually been long INPX since this signal here. It's pretty much done nothing since, but finally it really started to move after hours, and when it got up to about 195, I went in at the market and I sold half of my position at 192. It was posted live in the chat room, and I figured what I was looking to do was start to take profits if it got up to 158 even, and then of course I was going to take profits if it got up to 192 no matter what. I was going to take 50% off the table if intraday I got up to 192. So I figured when I looked after hours and it was at 195 print, I was like, that's it, it's hit my target. I can't tell you how many times recently that I've had after hours targets hit, not taking that profit after hours, and then it never gets back up to that level again. And actually right now, even though it is consolidating after hours, it is lower than where I sold it. So we basically almost top ticked it in the chat room. But INPX, this is what the signal was, the ad signal today. Bullish candle over candle, not too extended from its 50, even though it is extended from its 50, and not too extended from its 20, even though it's extended from its 20, but isn't everything in this market, so whatever. So you had the candle over candle, heavier above average volume with another pocket pivot point signal after already getting a few in the past month. You have those tall accumulation bars. They are trumping all of the previous red bars. And you had that max screen bop. So it showed up in 2 bop scans, showed up in my price volume bop surge scan. That's why it was an ad signal. But with this gap up, it's a no-go. But this is how it was supposed to go. If it would not be gapping up, and let's say everything's normal and it opens flat tomorrow, the stop would have been 144. Good to cancel buy stop at 144. Good to cancel buy limit 146. Your first cut loss level is this low, 126. Your final cut loss is 122. And remember, if it gaps up above 146, you would cancel or pause the trade and only call it back on once price, bid, and ask got below 144. Once that happened, you call the trade back on, and hopefully you get filled around 144. There were 3 long signals from this weekend, all triggered and filled today. All look fine at the close. Make sure you add whatever you have in shares. Make sure you split those up and then add a stop 1 cent below today's low a day. So that's all with the end of day signals. There's 100% speculative sell signal, but I want to keep going with this video lesson. I just want to show you a couple of stocks that I am looking to actually go short. One is a cult stock completely, and it's DraftKings. I really haven't seen charts like this since 1999, and even that being said, the percent gains in 1999 were way more than what we're seeing now. But what I'm talking about is the rate of ascent and the parabola of what you're seeing here with a chart like DKNG. But DKNG, notice how today's volume wasn't the heaviest volume of the entire uptrend, so it's not there yet to me. I would love to see this thing gap up, push, and then slam, and then go back up, retest those highs, slam again or pull off, and then start either selling calls, credit spreads even, because you can protect yourself with a higher call price, and or selling puts, or buying puts, and or just shorting the stock since it's still easy to borrow. But besides DKNG, just show you how ridiculous things are, look at PRTS. Now, PRTS is kind of what I'm looking for. I have not checked what it looks like intraday. I need to go review it. But do you notice it gapped up, pushed, and then a slam off those intraday highs? And do you also notice volume is the tallest of the entire uptrend? So I'm looking for that as a reversal. I'm going to go look. I'm going to check the options chain. I'm going to see if there's any play there. But DKNG and PRTS is just 2 examples of the absurdity that this uptrend that we're in. Like I said, I don't know if we're going to have a blow off top with all these moves, or if this is move 1 before consolidation and then we keep going higher. I'm going to keep my mind open about it, any possibility. Remember, the economy is no longer the stock market. The stock market is 1,000% rigged now. The Fed and QE is going to make sure that the assets of the 1% are controlled by the 1% and constantly in their hands. And with QE infinity, everything's changed. There is no historical precedent for the way that the market is trading right now. There's no historical precedent for the disconnect between the economy and the stock market. It is what it is. So, like I always say, keep it moving. So with that out of the way, with what's really ridiculous, are there any things that are interesting that I'm stalking for new long positions? No, but I did flag CIK today. We'll see if that one can pull back. Fly, here's one that I didn't take back here, and it's now up 44% without me. That's brilliant. But watching this one here, and then on the small cap side, just MTC. I like how it's flagging here, but look at all the short-term moving averages. It's extended from the 10 and the 20 until that 10 can at least get to this low here. I'm not interested in it, but those are the 3 really that I flagged after today's end-of-day scan. Now, before I review the intraday trades that I made today and the one I missed in the morning that I called out in the chat room, just didn't I don't know. I just couldn't pull the trigger because the base wasn't long enough. We'll go over that here at the end. But even though I don't have time to go over everything, I just want to show everybody what the potential gains are, even in a non-ideal market when things work out. I am sorry, once again, to members that I can't load up in any of these signals. I'm sorry I don't have any conviction behind the signals. I'm sorry that it seems to be a really hit and miss. It's the market that we're dealing with. That being said, look at some of these winners since we went long. AMSWA, this was the signal date. This is when it triggered and filled. Here's your percent gain, 21% in half a month. Not too bad, right? On an annualized basis. What is that going to turn out to? 40%, 12 months? Are you going to make 400% a year? How about RCL? This was the signal date. Triggered and filled the next day. I destroyed myself by the way that I managed it. I left with tiny losses, so I don't even have a position in RCL. 50% gain in a month and a half. Less than a month and a half on RCL. Start doing the math in your head and think about what that is. Realize. ZM. Here's another one that my extremely super tight stop management has now knocked me out of. I no longer personally have a position in ZM, but on an end-of-day basis, the signal is true. There are members still long. Look at this. 83% gain in under 3 months. So this is the power, this is the potential of these signals when things work out and line up. If I could just get myself with more conviction on the right side of some of these trades, it would really, really, really be nice, but it's a tough market. It's a tough market. STOR, since its initial long signal, new post signal high of the day, 31% gain in a little over 1 month. TW, here's another one that I've taken myself out of most of. Basically right here, I had 50% stop right here, and it cut it here. Dumb. Either way, little over 1 month, 26% gain in TW. Everybody can front run me on all these trades. Remember, I post them and alert them before I ever enter the orders on my end. And we'll go ahead and wrap it up with LSXMK. Nice move here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. 16% gain. I did increase my size in this name, actually tripled my size in this name. But that being said, nice signal, and I liked everything here. But, you know, it wasn't perfect. Why? If this signal comes right off the support level, I can really, really load up. But with this signal, I only had two stop levels to work with, and I just didn't want to put the capital at risk. But normally, this is a size position where you can get up to 10 to 20% on with a signal like that. And like I said, 16% gain in 6 days. So there's a lot of positions are working. INPX, like I said, I don't know. What is that gain? I have no idea. I'm just going to guesstimate from when we went long. A little over 36% gain. So we got some things working. But still, that being said, the 2 time frames that I really keep suggesting to everybody is investing in your 401k long-term and or day trading. So with that being said, let's look at what trades I made intraday today. First one we will review is the one that I missed not once but twice because I never got a squeeze. So AES was the #1 stock on my radar today besides 2 others, CETX, and DGLY. These were the 3 and the only 3 I was focused on in the morning, and AESE became #1 based on the way that it traded initially. Now CETX, you can see the opening candle. You can see the next candle, heavier volume sell-off. DGLY, same thing, but AESE, you can see, held those lows, and it had taller green volume. So this became of interest. I was looking to get long this stock. I wanted to get long right around the 330, 325, 335 area. Too bad it only lasted 1 minute. And then it immediately took off and started to go. Then after missing that move, which by the way, it's a nice 48% missed gain. And what is that? 12 minutes. This is when I started to stalk it again. I was looking for an entry here. Do you notice how the PPO lead line is below the signal line, which means that the histogram is red here? Notice the red bop here. Do you notice how we have green dots here indicating no squeeze? The squeeze is the red, black, and yellow dots. So even though the volatility stop was below price, I did not take this one off the 9 EMA and was hoping I could get it off the 21 EMA once it crossed above VWAP. That never happened. And so once again, missed out on another 20% move. And then from the initial entry to those highs in right around 30 minutes, you had a 70, 75, 80% move. Swing and a miss with that, and a bad fill on a swing trade that's working out. I decided to call it a morning. Came back, and the two stocks that I then focused on and took trades in, CETX. I already shut down everything. I think I went long CETX right around here because it was around 288, and I started to take profits on the way up as it just was moving higher. I partialed out. When it came back below here, I got completely out of CETX, left the position overall with gains, but I was expecting the thing to... I'm off. The long was here. When we squeezed up here, I started to take profits off, took more profits off, took profits off, and on this candle here, when the sell-off started, volume was really picking up on the time and sells. I hit my hotkey in DAS Pro and moved my stop to break even and was taken out of CETX. Called out live in the chat room, told everybody when I went long. In fact, a member went long with me and actually ahead of me before I actually went long because I alerted it when it was making this move here, got long here, got some partials off here, here, and then here before the final stop. And then the last one I traded was AMRS. This is what AMRS looked like whenever I went long. Made this move here, hit the hotkey, got long, pushed immediately, started to take profits. Just don't trust late day moves right now. There wasn't huge volume on the move. Started to take more profits as it pushes right here. Thank goodness I did, because then AMRS comes in here and my trade was done. So that's the action from today's session. Good thing I did that because AMRS did nothing. CETX did nothing for the rest of the day. And AESE, that was the one that got away. I started to watch it here whenever it was basing around 4. Brought it up in the chat room. Once again, AES, you got me. And I missed out on another 10% move into the close. But overall, not too bad. Pretty good session. Could have been better. I'm going to go ahead and wrap the video lesson up there. If you're on YouTube, watching this on YouTube, please, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, whatever. Hit the subscribe button, ring the bell. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, statements that you want to make, leave them in the comment section below, and I'll get to them as soon as possible. Aloha, everyone.